Welcome back to The Real Truth. I'm Tommy Spina, your host. Today we're talking with Tony Petelos, who was wanting to be considered for the Central Alabama water position. As you may or may not know, it was formerly the Birmingham Waterworks Board until things changed and the dynamics shifted dramatically, much to the dissatisfaction of the city of Birmingham and its two representatives. I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome to The Real Truth. I'm Tommy Spina. Today's guest is Tony Petelos. Locally here in Jefferson County and surrounding areas, Tony is very well known to some of you listening. You might not know Tony, but Tony has been involved in politics, in governmental agency work for as long as I can remember, actually. I think for even longer than I've known you, because I read about you long before I actually met you.
Right, yeah.
And then I had the pleasure to practice law in front of your wife, Teresa Petelos, who was a circuit judge in the Bessemer Division of Jefferson County, and we miss her. But welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Glad to be here.
So for those of our listeners that do not know anything about you, we have listeners all over the world. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your adult life. I don't need to know about growing up in Inslee. I grew up in West End. So we're both from the west side of town, but
Right.
Back in those days, that's where the Greeks and the Italians lived.
You're exactly right. We had a bunch of Italians and Greek that lived in Inslee and more Italians in West End, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, Doug Jones grew up in Fairfield.
Fairfield, yeah, and Fairfield.
Yeah. So the western side of town was of Birmingham, and when I say side of town, was sort of the area where a lot of people lived before we got into the problems that were brought about by the civil rights movement and what's been described as white flight.
Right.
And now we have 37 municipalities, I think, within Jefferson County.
Right.
Which is absolutely unheard of and most inefficient when it comes to spending money on public services that could be better spent if they were more consolidated and organized, I would think. Is that a fair statement?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And there's some things that the county and the cities in the county are working together on, but it's better, but it's, you've got so many different police departments and
37. It's good for me.
Yeah, exactly. But it does create a problem. But we've tried. When I was mayor of City Hoover, we worked with agreements with other cities. We worked with agreements with the county, and then when I went to the county, the same thing. We worked with our cities within the county best we could, but still, it's dysfunctional. It really is.
Well, before I get to a very specific question about that subject matter, why don't you tell us how you have progressed through state legislative bodies, into DHR, into the county commission, to the mayor of Hoover. Explain that route you took.
Just a quick update or a story is I was elected in 1986, living in my home community of Inslee at the time. And I was elected 3 times to the Alabama legislature. There was a problem at DHR, which is the social service agency, which handles the welfare to work program, handles the food stamp program, and handles the abuse and neglect of children and of adults. And the governor was having trouble with that agency.
Who was the governor at that time?
That was Fob James. Okay. And he fired her and hired me. At the time, there was a federal judge overseeing DHR. So I went there under a very difficult situation with federal judge oversight. After I went there, I ran for mayor in City of Hoover, I won 2 elections, and then one of the commissioners from Jefferson County came to me and said, we did a nationwide search for a county manager, CEO of Jefferson County, because 22 people went to prison from the county, including county commissioners, employees. It was a dysfunctional, corrupt government. The legislature changed the form of government to have one CEO in charge of the county. And they did a nationwide search. They offered the job to 3 different people. Those 3 different people turned the job down. So when they came to me, they were desperate, and they asked me if I would take the job. Everybody in Hoover thought I was crazy, from the city of Hoover, that I was mayor, to go to this dysfunctional county. And 40 days later, when I got there, we filed for the largest bankruptcy in the history of the United States of a local government.
Well, I don't really want to say congratulations, but
well, some friends of mine told me, because you're from a Greek background, no wonder they put a Greek in charge, and y'all filed for bankruptcy 40 days later of $4 billion.
Wow. And we came out of it, and we're relatively sound financially. I want to talk to you. We might as well go there now, because it would be a natural flow. I did want to speak a little bit about DHR, but coming from DHR, which at the time you went in could have qualified for as dysfunctional in a different kind of way,
it was,
as the county that had just had 22 people indicted and convicted, I think.
Yes.
I don't think anybody was acquitted
that
whole series. They either pled guilty or
one
were found
county
guilty.
commissioner pled guilty, had payroll, but 22 people actually sat in jail. Employees, contractors, engineers, people associated with the bond market, and 5 county commissioners.
Yeah, I was involved in some of that case. But what appears to me to be happening, and specifically as it relates to the Birmingham Water Works Board, I know that's a hot topic, at least locally and in our state, but particularly in the 5 county, I think it's 5, maybe 9. Is it, how many?
It's Jefferson County, Shelby County, Blount County, and St. Clair County. Yeah.
But the water itself is in Birmingham.
Right. And the majority of the ratepayers, the majority of the services are in Birmingham.
When you say majority, you mean 60%? 70%?
More than that.
80%?
Much more than that. I don't know if it's 80, but it's approaching that, yes.
And so there's conflict because our state legislative body enacted some legislation. Can you tell us how we got to the conflict that we currently have now between the city of Birmingham and its board, or what historically was its board, called the Birmingham Water Works Board?
Okay, the Birmingham Water Works Board, through decades, made some of the cleanest water in the United States.
We have good water.
We have good water. We're not Flint, Michigan, or anything like that. We have good water. We always have had good water. And the people that run, the engineers, the people at the Birmingham Water Works Board, we have some great people there. The problem was you had a board that micromanaged the employees.
The staff.
The staff.
The worker bees.
The worker bees. And they micromanage, and they continue to micromanage. The Alabama the delegation from Jefferson County said we need to make a change and get that out of there so the people can do their job. So they went to the legislature and changed, very similar. My job at Jefferson County as the first county manager / CEO was a product of the Alabama legislature changing the law. So they changed the law to allow members of the board to be appointed differently. The governor appoints one, which I don't understand why you would have the governor of the state appointing a local board, which the board now is the Central Alabama Water Authority.
Has the governor done that before in any other
Never.
Municipal utility?
No, I don't know of one. I'm very sure no. And the lieutenant governor makes the appointment. And then There's an appointment out of each of the counties, and then the mayor's office makes an appointment. So it's a total of 7 people on the board, but it's a totally different board than what they had before.
Well, when you say the mayor only has
City of Birmingham.
2 appointments.
2 appointments.
Each other county has an appointment.
Right, and the governor and the lieutenant governor.
So you have now who appoints St. Clair County's board member, for example?
I'm not sure if it's the.
But it's done locally.
It's done locally.
My point.
Yeah, whatever.
And the same would be true for Shelby and Blount.
Yes.
So we have 3. We have the water in Birmingham.
Right.
We have a super majority of consumers in Birmingham.
That's correct.
And for the first time in history, we have representation on the Waterworks Board. Out of 7 board members, only 2 are representing the city of Birmingham.
Which is the largest city in this area, yes.
So that has created conflict.
Yes.
And recently they were they had a turnover. Something happened. What the legislative body, why did they get involved in that?
Because the old board, the old Birmingham Waterworks Board, was micromanaging the employees. There were some things that was going on. We had an issue back, I think, about 6-8 years ago. They went to a new computer system, and the billing was all wrong, and people were very upset about it. So there needed to be a change. So they set up this new board, get some new people in there, get a board that will do the right thing.
But somebody had to initiate the legislation.
Yeah, it was the local Jefferson County, some members of the Jefferson County delegation.
Okay.
And I'm not sure, I wasn't involved in any of that, so I'm not sure who those people may be.
But they enacted this law that
Right.
changed the formation, the membership of
the board.
Of the board.
Yeah.
And in that process, cut Birmingham's control,
Completely.
which it had previously had, pretty much killed it with 2 members.
Right.
So recently, I know we fired our general manager or suspended him or did something, Mac Underwood, who had been there before, had left and came back to help. And now recently we have hired a new guy.
Mr. Thompson.
Who was previously removed from a board for reasons unknown to anyone and has now been reappointed for reasons
There was
unknown.
do not come back to work here again. And
in his Birmingham dismissal, and yet he's back.
He's back.
What I read, and again, this show is called The Real Truth, so what I'm trying to get at is that truth. We don't get a lot of feedback from those that are on the board. We get a lot of feedback from Birmingham representatives that are on the board and the mayor of Birmingham, who is affected tremendously by what's going on here. But how did that happen? What do you think was going on? Did you want that job?
Let me tell you what happened. I went to DHR. It was a mess with federal oversight. When I went to Hoover, they were fighting. The city council and the mayor were fighting. When I went to the county, it was a total disaster. So it was like, I told my wife, I'm retired now. I don't need a job. I don't want a job. But I told my wife, I think I could go over there in 2 years and turn things around like I did at DHR, like I did at the city of Hoover, like I did at the Jefferson County, and get things on the right track where people will have confidence and believe in the board and what they're doing. So I had a friend who knew the chairman of the board and said, "Hey, I might be interested in applying." And I went and spoke to him. My friend went, spoke to him. And since then, I've had several other people tell me the same thing. He said, "We already got somebody we want as a CEO." So this is back in July. And I said, "Well, I'm going to go ahead and apply anyway. Let's see what happens." So I called a good friend of mine on the board, Philip Wiedmeyer. Said, "Philip, I'm thinking about applying." He said, "Great." He said, "I'll get the search agency to give you a call." And the next day I get a real nice email from the search agency. And it says, I'm going to read you the qualifications. "We're seeking a CEO who brings high integrity, strong understanding of the region, a commitment to operation excellence, financial controls, and the ability to instill trust across the communities served." And I thought, well, I've done that. I've done it over and over again. I'm going to go ahead and apply. So, real nice email. He said, "This is what we're looking for. And will you be available to talk by phone tomorrow, the next day?" I sent an email back, said, "Sure, just let me know. I'm wide open." Week goes by. I send an email, "Hey, I'm still interested." Nothing. I make a couple phone calls, nothing. And then I get an email almost 3 weeks later that says that the board doesn't want to talk to you or anyone else.
So they had made their decision.
They had made their, that they had not made their decision. They didn't want to talk to me. So fast forward to a week ago, they have their board meeting, and on the agenda is one name on the agenda. It's Jeffrey Thompson on there. And there's no discussion. There's nothing. So Commissioner Tyson, who represents who was appointed by the mayor, she says, "I want to make a motion to put Tony Petelos so the search agency can interview him." And they turned it down.
Nobody seconded the motion?
Oh, no.
So the motion carried?
The motion carried, yeah. No, I'm sorry. The motion did not carry. There was a second, and but it didn't carry. And then they went straight and voted with no discussion about this person. And
so it was moved and seconded, and they skipped the Robert's Rules of Order, any discussion piece, and took a vote?
They took a vote.
And I bet it fell 3-2.
It was, one had one voted present, so it was 4, 2 against, and 1 voting present.
So we have 7 people.
Yeah. And so in one of the AL.com news stories, the chairman of the board says that we had 80 applicants. I'm quoting the newspaper now, or what I call a newspaper, AL.com. There's no newspaper anymore.
We've already been through that subject.
Yeah.
The lack of accountability in the things that are reported these days.
Right. And so
no dispersion on AL.com.
No. And actually, they've done a real good job monitoring the meetings and what's going on.
I think the media we say lacks accountability is social media.
It's all social media today. There's just
just whatever you want to say, wherever you want to say it.
Yeah. And how many
and people could say that about me.
Yeah, and how many clicks you're going to get. You know. But Anyway, in their article, the chairman of the board has said there was 80 that applied. I didn't realize Tony was interested. I knew he said he'd like to help out, but didn't know he was interested. But the search firm looked at his resume and felt he wasn't fit for the job, a good fit for the job. I never sent a resume. The only thing the search agency had on me was my name, and I was interested. That's it. I never talked to them.
So somewhere in there is anything but
Somebody pulled
the real truth.
Somebody pulled the plug. And
you got an opinion on who that might have been?
I don't know, but it said that the board decided not to interview anybody else. Well, people on the board, they say they never voted on it. There was never public discussion on it at all. So
I have invited a board member to come onto my show, and he said he would come, and I hope he still will agree to come and maybe enlighten us on some things you're talking about that he would have access to information about and might be able to clear up whatever misunderstanding is out there. But we still are in a position where somebody got hired who was on a do not hire list without really being vetted by anybody on the board. If he was vetted at all, we don't know. We don't have answers to those questions. What did they do to qualify him for the board, and why was he sent away to begin with? Do we know that?
In all the organizations I've been involved with, you have 2 or 3 names, you go into executive session, and Commissioner Tyson, who's on the board, she asked to go into executive session and they turned her down.
There's some real specific rules about when you can go on executive session.
Yeah, but when you talk about the good name and character of someone,
yeah,
and they said, no, we're voting on this today, and that was it.
Now, when you say they said, so the chairman running the meeting, and they take a vote on whether to go into executive session, right?
And it was turned down.
Yeah.
And it was, they hire a CEO of a major organization. In 23 minutes, it was over with no discussion. No one said, why should we hire this guy? His name was just on the agenda, one agenda item, and they voted on the one agenda item. That was it.
Got up, walked out of the room.
Walked out of the room.
Meeting adjourned.
Yeah. And then within hours later, the new CEO put on administrative leave 5 people from the leadership team of the facility, employees.
Out on, you mean the actual pump station? Or
No, the general manager.
In the office, the staff.
The general manager, the deputy manager, and I'm not sure who the other 3, but they were the leadership team of the staff people that worked there, that held tremendous amount of institutional knowledge, and sent them home. Now they got to buy their contracts out. It's probably going to cost $3 million to do that. They have very little money. If the board member comes, find out how much money they have in capital to replace water lines in their system.
Are their finances a public record?
Yes, it's a all the board members are appointed by public officials,
right?
One way or the other. Yeah.
So there should be financial records online.
Yeah.
That would be able to see what's cash is in the bank. Now, I do know the Waterworks Board is a board that compensates its board members.
I think they stopped that.
They did.
I think they stopped that. Yeah, because they were trying to have too many meetings. because they're being compensated. So they stopped that.
When did that occur?
Years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the people that are serving on the board now are serving without compensation?
I believe that's the case.
Okay.
I'm not going to, I believe that's the case.
Well, there is litigation, is there not, about this issue? Or was that chunked?
There may be litigation, yes.
I read where someone had filed for a preliminary injunction, which is difficult to get.
I don't think that was ever filed.
Okay.
As of
just
today.
chit-chat
As
about
of today. As of today.
Okay.
So, but, you know, and this same individual was at a national water conference, and Mr. Thompson, and this was back either in August or September, and this is reported by AL.com. I'm getting my information from them now. That's his tag said the Central Alabama Water Authority. So he was at a conference, it looked like, representing.
Before he was appointed.
Before he's appointed.
Interesting dynamics.
But I was turned down by the search agency. I was turned down by the board. And, you know, all I wanted was an interview, you know.
Well, it doesn't sound like they interviewed anyone.
No, they did interview some people.
Oh.
The subcommittee of 3 people did, but I wasn't one of them. And I never had my resume submitted to the search agency because the search agency informed me that the board didn't want to talk to me or any other candidates.
Did the subcommittee include any of the mayor of Birmingham's appointees?
No. It was the chairman of the board, the vice chairman of the board, and a member of the board from Shelby County, Standridge. From Shelby County.
Interesting dynamics. Well, we'll keep noodling around till we find out what happened there. I don't think Mayor Woodfin's wanting to let it go just yet. I think he's got a lot of questions he wants answered.
Well,
whether he can get them answered, I don't know.
How can you get a job and within just a couple of hours you just take all this institutional knowledge and send them home the next day?
We're not saying Mr. Thompson doesn't have institutional knowledge, or does he?
No, he's been there before. He worked there, yeah. But to take the top 5 leadership people out and send them home, and then they're going to have to work a payment plan out. And if you do get to talk to the board member, ask that board member how much money they have in their capital budget. They have 4,000 miles of pipeline under the ground that has to be maintained. And pipes don't last forever.
Well, not pipes that were made from SIPCO back in the day when cast iron was the mode of pipe. Yeah. Now we have synthetic pipe that lasts, is a lot more durable, I suspect. We have other forms of pipe as well.
But in our old neighborhoods, Inslee and West End, we still got the ones put down 75, 85 years ago that need to be replaced.
Right.
But what I'm saying is 4,000 miles of pipe, and they have just a minute amount of money for replacing pipes in their budget, their capital budget.
Do you know what their revenues are?
No, it's Commissioner Tyson at yesterday's meeting was asking them questions about revenue, and she couldn't get a straight answer.
Well, I grew up in the simplistic accounting philosophy: paid in, took out, left over.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
It's
And it applies in every business.
Yeah.
It may be categorized differently.
well, and I had the reporter ask me, says, well, this was before they hired him last week. Would you take the job if they offered it to you today? I said, no. I don't work for people that I don't trust. I work for Democrats and Republicans at the county commission. I had a great relationship with all of them, all 9 of them. I was at the county for 10 years, and I worked with 9 different commissioners, and I had a great relationship with them.
Well, as the former county manager, I think I referred to you as a county commissioner, but you were not a commissioner. You were the manager.
Manager, yeah.
So you run the day-to-day operation.
Yeah.
Recently, I have read where our county commission, and I'm speaking of the city of Birmingham now, are not getting along or not cooperating with one another. They're arguing about Art Walk, who should pay to fund this beautiful project that has really breathed some life into what was otherwise a pretty blighted area, is now struggling to make ends meet to keep it going, and the county commission doesn't want to participate in the funding of it.
I think what you're going to find, City of Birmingham, the Alabama Department of Transportation, ALDOT, built all that when they.
Well, because it's their property.
Yes.
It's like that property across the street from me.
Yeah.
If I have homeless people behind that hedge line, I have to call ALDOT.
Right.
Because I have little tent cities that form in there sometimes.
Yeah. And I remember at one time it was really bad that
Yes,
the tent city was.
it was.
But I think, what you're going to find is that all 3 entities, ALDOT, the city, and Jefferson County, I think they'll come to an agreement.
Well, I hope they will at least open some dialogue.
Yeah.
That would be helpful. But the position that we have 36 other municipalities and we don't help them with their parks and recreation issues, I think it's distinguishable to lend assistance to Birmingham's parks and recreations, for lack of a better word, even though ALDOT's involved, than it is to help Nick, for example, in Hoover, run Regions Field, or whatever they call that out there now, the old Regions Field. Or is it still
the Hoover Met?
The Hoover Met. Don't you think there's a distinction to be drawn between Birmingham, since it is the largest municipality in the county?
Well, when I was mayor, I had, and I'm a guy that likes to work cooperation and work with the entities. I had Shelby County that helped us build Veterans Park. And because Veterans Park was in Shelby County. So I had the county commissioners that helped us. Generally, the Jefferson County doesn't have parks, and they haven't. But let me just say it this way: before it's over with, I think all 3 entities will be working together to keep that going.
Why the tension right now, before they get to work it out? What is that, politics?
It's negotiation.
Oh.
That's what it is, negotiation.
Okay, so posturing.
Posturing, yeah.
Well, I hope they get it worked out because it's a very nice place. In closing, we're going to wrap up, but I want to go back to DHR. I come in contact with DHR a good bit these days. DHR still struggles, and I think it lacks sufficient funding, quite frankly, for some of its programs to help the underserved in a lot of ways. I suspect that was a problem back then.
It was one down. And the reason it's a problem, if you're a social worker, you get a call, we need you to go pick up these kids at midnight. There's a fight going on in one of these areas that's not safe to be at night. And the social worker has to go and take these kids out of a home when they can go to Children's Hospital, UAB Hospital, or any other health agency and get a job and make more money. That's why a lot of the young people come out of college, they're social workers, they work at DHR for a year or 2 years, then they move on to a higher salary in the private sector. And that's a major problem, especially in the counties like Jefferson County, Mobile, and Montgomery. It's a real problem. Has been, and I've been gone 25 years now, and it's been a problem back then. It's a problem today.
Well, where does that money come from? The state, right?
Most of the money's from the feds. Most
Oh,
of the money's federal money. Yeah.
yeah, but under this current administration, are they tightening the belt on funding social agencies like that? Social service?
I'm not familiar. If they are, I'm not involved today in it, so I don't know what the details are. But I do know that DHR has 4,000 employees.
Really?
And they have a tough job to do.
Really tough.
And you're dealing with 35,000 phone calls of suspect abuse and neglect. Say you get it 99% of the time correct. That means 350 times you didn't get it right. And I would say it's the toughest agency to run in state government. I put it up there with the corrections facility.
Yeah. They'll be calling you soon.
Yeah.
You want to get in that fray?
No, I'm retired. I'm fully retired.
You tried not to be. I think what you're telling us here is we should keep digging into the Waterworks Board and what's going on behind closed doors, because something is going on that nobody seems to know about. So we're not getting the full story.
Well, they said they want to be transparent. They said they want to build trust in the community. They're not doing that. They're when you go in and you take out 5 top level personnel there within 5 hours after being appointed, that's just not right. And I worry about the board.
Do you think the state legislature had any role in the appointment of the new? He would be called a CEO, right?
Yeah, he's CEO. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
So they still got their finger in our water.
I'm
a Birminghamian who lives in Vestavia, but I grew up in West End,
right.
So, and my office is in Birmingham, and I'm active in Birmingham. But so we don't know the answers of how we ended up with our new CEO yet.
No.
And we do know that you, who seemingly have some qualifications that at least deserve giving you an opportunity to talk about, were totally blown off and misrepresented as having reviewed a resume that you never sent to begin with.
Right.
Which would be anything but the real truth. Correct?
You're absolutely right.
Well, with that, I think I'm going to call it a show. We may have you back, but for our listeners, you are hearing the real truth, straight from, no offense, the horse's mouth. Thank you for being with us.
Tommy, thank you for inviting me to be here. And your family goes back, to Sicily?
It does.
Okay, my family goes back to Samos, Greece. So we're both island people.
We're not so different.
Yeah.
And even in the physical aspects of our respective heritages, they're very similar. We got ruins, you got ruins. We're happy people, y'all are happy people. We enjoy life, y'all enjoy life.
We enjoy wine, y'all enjoy wine.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today on The Real Truth. My name is Tommy Spina. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation. I hope you will follow or subscribe to my podcast and listen in to the next episode. If you found it valuable, please take a moment to rate it and review it. It helps us to reach more listeners that care about the issues that matter. Share it with a friend. Stay engaged and remember, the truth matters. I'll see you next time.